Ain't that something, man. Double rainbows. Gotta love it. Well, it only takes 1 minute to make a mistake. And you learn really quick. See from the pictures and the way I open this video. Thanks for taking the time to share a moment with me. I'm Deviator, willing participant in life on the road. I'm inviting you on this ride as well as we talk about what affects you. If you're interested in what it takes to get there, click on that subscribe button and the bell and buckle up and get ready for something you can use. Let's go. Being an owner-operator is really challenging. Dealing with and understanding how to get the right loads can make the difference between success and failure. I'd like to help you look at things just a little bit differently. And in the end, if I've done that, give me a comment down below. Loads, loads, loads. So many loads. With almost 50,000 loads on the board. How is it you can pick out just one? I mean, I hear all drivers complain all the time about being shafted by dishonest brokers. So how is it someone like me, an owner-operator, can look at a load board and pick out one load out of the many thousands that are there? I'm going to give you my perspective. Hope it helps you. But first, yeah, we're cutting over State Route 64. A little bit of a shortcut that I decided to take instead of going up this route the way the map says to go. Based on all the traffic lights and slower speeds, it probably took about a good 25 minutes off the drive. Added 10 miles to the total drive, but when you're driving trucks, some of the things you want to think about is how many slower speed zones and city traffic situations am I going to run into. It's always a good thing to bear in mind, because you'll get somewhere rather quick if you can maintain 70 or 75 mile an hour speeds, but when you got to slow down for a 35 or hit 14 traffic lights, that takes a lot of time off the drive. So, all right, Rutherford Glen, Virginia. Got another 2 blocks down, maybe 3. Make a right-hand turn. Looking it up on the internet. Google mapping the whole thing. I've been here before, so it's not totally unfamiliar to me. I made a drop probably, best I can recall, probably about 3 or 4 times in the past. And they don't have very much in here today.
Do you know what the seal number is? Or do you have a seal number on it? I see it.
Yeah, it should be on the paperwork. Yeah.
It's up top. I need coffee.
I need better eyesight for me to answer those questions.
Okay, you get this box in. Keep the rest.
Okay.
Alright, and let me just inspect it real quick and then it'll be.
So let's get into them load boards, picking the right load. Before I do, just a reminder, hit that like button down there. Today's video gave you something you didn't have. If you're new to the channel, click on that subscribe button down there so you can find us and keep in touch. If you're a new owner operator, especially with Landstar, I encourage you, hit the bell notification and have YouTube notify you on future videos. I strongly encourage it. I have one on load planning in the works that I feel will be worth tuning in for. So let's get to the content today. Load boards, guys. Think of them like the classified section of the local paper of old. You've got a huge amount of loads for a great amount of drivers sitting at a very small place, very easy for everybody to find and locate. You've got loads for your flatbeds, you've got loads for your dry vans, you've got loads for your reefer trailers, you got loads for tankers, all kinds of other specialized loads for different other purposes too, numerous to mention on this video. But they're all sitting in one place, and you've got to narrow down from 50,000 at any given time down to one load that meets your purposes. And think about it, this app or newspaper, however you want to look at it, it has people from all over the world wanting to get products shipped to market and done yesterday. What you see on these boards are but only one side of the entire equation. Be sure and get the roles right when you're dealing with load boards and brokers. You have something they want. You have equipment. If you're an owner-operator, it's crucial that you don't make the mistake of thinking what's in print is it. You have a piece of equipment, an office, if you will. You have to ensure the survival of that office with a budget, which you set, not them. Realize you have the power to walk away. Once you realize where loads are concerned, it's a buyer's market, you don't have to settle. Okay? With prices on the rise, on the back end of every endeavor, it's easy to see the prices we ask for need to as well. I found this fact quite interesting. Did you know that there are currently more than 17,000 licensed freight brokers in the United States? According to the Journal of Commerce, that fact is true. Most people don't know that. So they need us drivers in order to meet their goals of moving freight. 3.5 million of us. 3.5 million to 17,000, well, that's quite an equation. It's easy to see who should control the shipping market in this country. When it comes to looking for loads, before you make the first inquiry, take inventory. Put simply, know what you have. If you're watching this and you're a company driver, and this most likely doesn't apply to you very much, so, but if you're an owner-operator, like with Landstar or another company, you have a truck, you have a business, you have time, and you have your talents. All the time it's taken you to do everything to get where you are, all that put into one package, that's worth more than every trip on that load board. So every step from here is crucial. When you're looking for loads, something to keep in mind is keep your goals first and your ego second. Something my father used to say, ego never pays the bills. Actually, exactly how he said it was, ego's a slacker, he never pays the bills. Whatever you do, whatever you haul, take stock in where you are. Not just physically, not just geographically, but where you are in life, in this endeavor, driving truck. You're part of one of the most essential parts of commerce in the world. Whether you haul big equipment, tiny boxes for a retail outlet, whatever you have in that box, you're human. Part of it's making mistakes. and learning from those mistakes. You're going to do plenty of that along the way. As I mentioned earlier about goals, using goals is a good place to start. The easiest thing is working what you know. If you're more familiar with the East Coast, stay around there. As time goes on, you'll become more familiar with markets, prices, conditions. All that will come to you. If you're already in it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The moment you try branching out in different places and do things you've never done before, that's when it starts to cost you money. Remember, when you're on the phone with these brokers, ask questions about the load. Don't be afraid to ask what may be seemingly silly questions. Is it FCFS, meaning first come, first serve, with the shipper and the receiver? What happens if we're late? What happens if we're early? What happens to the price if either of those two conditions change? Ask about the weight. Make sure to ask about places to go close by. Some brokers know about places to park. Some don't. In fact, most don't, but it doesn't hurt to ask anyway. Lastly, don't be afraid to stop and think for just a second. The listed price is only the price. It's not written in stone. It's not the Holy Grail. It's not the Ten Commandments. You got to be more like the listed price is their price, not mine. I can help you for this, and you settle on what you want rather than settle for what they demand. According to the ATA, 2019, yeah, I noticed a couple of years ago, but still, this is a staggering fact. 2019, a total of 11.84 billion tons of freight was transported by truck in this country. That translates to 791.7 billion in revenue. Yes, that's right, I said it. 791.7 billion. Almost 800 billion. Think about that for just a minute. Just how staggering that number is for 3.5 million trucks in this country. And yet I hear and see drivers vlogging all over YouTube about how bad the market is. If every one of us understand just how powerful that fact is and act accordingly, imagine how quickly we could turn that around. There's all kinds of media outlets putting out their assessments on market conditions, you know, written articles here, posted videos there, and yet all they got is numbers. The real worth of any market is what you deem it to be. You. It starts with you. It starts with knowing your worth. It works by standing your ground. It's not complicated if you simply think of others when you book your next load. By that I mean, think about it. If you're getting this load for $2,000 a day, you're setting a standard that hopefully someone behind you will follow. Yet more often than not, loads get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper because brokers want to take more and drivers don't expect more, so they settle for less. I mean, all we got to do is stand up for our values and say, no, I know what I need. The question is, are you going to help me get there? Are you going to help yourself get there? And are you going to be or as a broker, are you going to be another bump in the road? In the end, everyone's trying to make a living. The broker, the driver of the truck, and even the poor soul paying for all this. Think about it, the shipper, the customer. So the brokers are going to hold back something. That much is understandable. The question I have, and I'll have you ask, is are you going to be honest about it? Most of them will try and make it look that way, but until there's laws passed for transparency, you pretty much have to go with three things: experience, the context clues, and your gut. Rule of thumb has always treated me very well over the years. Gotta thank my father for this one too. If the equation is broken, the math won't add up. But a new category I just added is one called In the Box. It's basically going to comprise videos where it's just me on a load, giving you the stats on the load, the highlights, information that pretty much most vloggers can relate to. In addition to that, I've also made subtle changes like purchased equipment, which you're watching this on now, and added software to my systems. My aim is to make this YouTube thing work better for me, but I also want to make truck driving more enjoyable for everyone who tunes in. So look for more topic-driven videos coming down the pipeline. Till next time, my friends, keep your eye on the prize. And while you're on the road, think of others. It may help lighten the load. I'm Deviator. Thanks for watching. Look for me on Facebook. And remember, be happy, stay safe, and make it count.